Hey everybody, I just wanted to give a quick update from the world's messiest office, so welcome. I had an OSINT challenge that I offered up last Friday night for a free ticket to Hack Space Con in, I believe it's happening in Orlando, and the ticket was for April 12th and 13th, so it was like a $300 ticket. It was really cool that TCM Security gave me the ticket, and I was super sad that I'm not able to travel right now. So I asked them, can I give the ticket away? And they said, yeah. And I was like, okay, cool. So we'll do this OSINT challenge. I put it out there to everybody on LinkedIn, and I had several people participate, reach out, ask questions, a couple of interesting answers. And ultimately, Charles Sapp is the person that got to me with the right answer first. And so, Charles, you got the ticket. And now I just kind of want to walk everybody through what I would have done or how I thought it would go. So anyway, thanks. All right, so here we go. So here's the post with the initial OSINT challenge. And remember, the idea was I wanted to give away a ticket, but to do that, somebody had to answer my 3 questions, which were, where am I in this photo? Why am I there? And what day was this photo taken? So I pretty much did those in order because I thought one answer might lead to the other. So let's check it out. We've got this photo, which I previously downloaded and thrown into a Google Lens here. And you'll notice right away that it tries to search based on the entire image, and that's just not giving them anything. And I think part of the reason for that is because, you know, none of us are celebrities or anything, so it's not like it's going to pick up on that or this photo has been in newspapers. So what I do is I'm just going to remove the people, essentially. So we'll just kind of scroll up a little bit. Hopefully that gives us something useful. And how about that? I think we just hit pay dirt pretty quickly, even with Vice as a source. So we're gonna right click on that. This is telling me Grace Church Cathedral, which by the way is the right answer. But let's check it out. And that looks to me like the same place. So this brought up a couple of good options. I'll let you know just looking at it. So for example, right here, we can see these little alcoves, and I can see those same alcoves right there. And then we've also got this kind of yellow or goldish type area, and I see the same right here. And then these plaques that are on the side with that distinct black and gold lettering. Well, hey, I can see it there, and I can see it there, and I can see it there. So yeah, so Grace Church Cathedral is exactly where I was. So, you know, if you go here, and there might have been some foreshadowing in there, we get Grace Church Cathedral in Charleston, South Carolina. So that answers the question of where I was. Now, the other question is, what was I doing there? Why was I there? So let's zoom back out. Let's take a look at this bigger image here. So looking around, everybody's dressed pretty nicely. We know we're inside a church building. Could be a religious ceremony, could be some kind of other ceremony. But for example, this woman has gloves on, which is pretty uncommon. Got a suit and tie, shirt and tie, scarf. This guy's got a name tag on. Looks like he may have another thing that he's wearing on his chest, kind of like this one. And then I would mostly drag your attention over here because if we're trying to figure out why somebody's there, just look for context clues. And I've got something on, so let's try to zoom in on that and see if that gives us anything useful. And if I remember right, it doesn't. Yeah, and look at that. We got a bunch of brooches, some lapel pins. That doesn't really tell you anything. So, okay. So now we're kind of Order of Malta, but it's a lapel pin. That's not what that is. So you have 2 options at this point. One thing you can do, you can keep doing image searching, or remember, this person's on social media. They're on LinkedIn, so we can go to their profile. Let's see. And most people on LinkedIn treat it almost like a resume, which in my case I do. So terrible OPSEC, I got to get rid of all this stuff. But we scroll down to the bottom. Well, first, got to say thanks to TCM for all the training on the OSINT and pen testing. But we scroll down to the bottom. We have honors and awards. We'll hop in here real quick. And this is a good place to look because we have a couple of colleges mentioned. There's this thing called the Order of St. John. Kentucky Colonel, but I think you'd be dressed like Colonel Sanders. Fellow of the Royal Society of Arts. Okay. Well, we know that I'm wearing a medal in the picture, so let's just Google it. Let's take a look at Fellow of the Royal Society of Arts and see if there is a good picture of a medal. And they do have medals, but these look less like something that somebody would wear on a lapel pin, although I do see, there is something like this, but it seems to be rare. Everything else looks more like a medallion type medal. So what else did we have? We had Kentucky Colonel. Let's take a look at that real quick. I'll tell you from experience, the Kentucky Colonel medals are cute. They're mostly meant as a way to say thank you to donors who help support their programs. But, well, that's a contender. Could be that one, although the one that I'm wearing is matte black. Definitely doesn't have any kind of colors or stripes to it. So that leaves the Order of St. John. So let's see. We'll search for a medal, Order of St. John. Would you look at that? I think we hit something that looks a little, in fact, there we go. Something just like that, I think, is what we see in the picture. Let's go back here. I feel pretty good about that. But just in case, what I did, because I was having issues searching with the bigger picture, I snipped out just the medal by itself and I threw that into Google Lens. And that wasn't much help either, although I do see one mention of St. John here. Now, this is the default view that Google gave me, but what if we just go ahead and expand it out? Thanks for helping, but let's look at the whole thing. And all of a sudden, you've got way more St. John type stuff showing up. So I get a feeling that this is the Order of St. John. So we've got Grace Church Cathedral, Charleston, South Carolina. Let's see. So we can see already they've got some social media presences here. They've got their website. They've got a Facebook page and they've got a YouTube page. Let's check that out. First, take a look at their website. Let's see if the Order of St. John shows up there anywhere. Nothing. Okay. Hey, look at this. Okay, we got a YouTube channel, Order of St. John. And look at that. I think we hit pay dirt. So we know that I was at Grace Church Cathedral. By all appearances, it looks like I was there for an event for the Order of St. John. And when I scroll down here, I see this one mentions this whole big long name of the Most Venerable Order. And I scroll down and I don't see any other events that are specific to that organization. So the odds are this is what we're looking for. So let me just click into that real quick. All right, check it out. This was a meeting of the Priory, and it looks like it was a service of investiture and rededication, which is exactly what it was. So where was I? I was at this church. I was at Grace Church Cathedral in Charleston, South Carolina. What was I doing? I was attending this service. And what date was it on? Well, heck, they even timestamp it for you right here. Saturday, November 16th, 2019. And this was live streamed. And so we can even see the date there. So this was a good exercise, in my opinion, of using context clues, because I'll tell you, the video's like 2 hours long, and I was just a guy with my butt in a seat that day. I did nothing remarkable. I'm not in any of the video, but you can use context clues to say, okay, they're dressed up really nicely. They're in this church. This organization only went to that church on this one day, and it was for a big event. Well, there you go. That's how you solve the puzzle. So thanks again for participating, and thanks again to TCM Security for giving me the ticket to give away. That was huge. I really appreciate it. And congratulations again to our winner.